Hi, in this video, I'm going to show you how to make a beaver tail trolling motor mount using a modified trolling motor bracket for your kayak. That being said, let's go ahead and get started. This is the template I made with a Wilderness Systems trolling motor mount. I used it because I liked the size and shape of it, and it also has the pretty much standard 4-bolt attachment pattern that most kayaks use for accessories. Okay, so I transferred the template onto the cutting board, and this is the beaver tail section here, which is about 3.5 inches in width, which coincides to the thickness of the vertical part of the trolling motor mount. So now I'm going to cut it out. So I've cut out the beaver tail, and the reason I wanted to do this first is because when I go to bending this part of the mount, it'll be much easier to do with a smaller amount of polymer to bend. This is my bend setup. What I have is a small table, and on the edge I have a piece of aluminum angle, and then sandwiched between that is I have another piece of metal, and that's going to form the area right here where I want to make the crease. And I have everything clamped down in place. And the purpose also of using this metal is that when I use the heat gun to make this bend, this is going to help absorb and transfer a lot of the heat into the polymer itself. Okay, here's a look at the final bend. And you see that 2x4, that's what I ended up using to hold it in place because everything got really hot. And you can see I've got a little bit of melted slag there, but because that's going to be under the mount, I'm just going to sand that smooth. The next thing to do was size it for the kayak that I'm going to mount it on, and in this case, it's a Perception Outlaw. So you can see it where I have it here, and I have my bolt holes, and I will wait to drill those until I have the trolling motor mount attached to this. And you can see I've got the beaver tail hanging over the side, and I'm going to clean all this up with some paint, and then I went ahead and rounded the edges with the sander just to give it a cleaner look. Okay, now that the beaver tail is done, I'm going to show you what I need to do with the modified quick release bracket. And I'll show a link in the narrative section so you can see how to make this if you decide to do it. So basically, I'm going to have to put one hole through here, which I described before, and then I'm going to put 3 in a triangular shape here once I just push this onto the back of here and line everything up, and then I will have my mount. Now, so I wouldn't run into any interference between this mount and the hull of the kayak, I ended up using this press insert 1/4 by 20 piece here. And as you can see, it gives it the flush look I need. And then I just put the screw in just to the surface of this. Okay, this is the finished product with everything all bolted together. And I also did a little bit of trimming around it to give it a cleaner look, as you can see down here, on the sides here. And I chamfered in these screws here so they'll be flush with the surface and won't cause any interference. And this screw here is also flush so it won't cause any interference. And there's the bolt. There's the top section. And so the only thing I need to do now is put the bolt pattern on it and then attach it to the kayak. So that's it. If you have any questions, please leave them for me in the comments. Thank you.